For the 11 by Maree Hamilton of Phillip Bay 2036. Narrated by Janine Penfold. When a loved one dies, one of the most unenviable but inevitable tasks to do is opening the deceased's computer and scanning and reading through the myriad files, discerning what to keep, what to delete, what to hold close, and what to share. I have been undertaking this commission just recently, since my adored grandmother died on October 19, just 9 days before her 80th birthday. My mum, as executor, is consumed both by her grief and many administrative duties, so I offered to curate Nana's old Hewlett-Packard. The clunky HP 250 was the messy work desk of an avid and gifted writer, but one possessed with few of the IT skills of a digital native. But this ancient laptop is a treasure trove of reflections, stories, opinion pieces, letters, and articles. This task has been time-consuming, but the most immense privilege. Trawling through so much that oozes Nana is bittersweet. I am deeply sad that she has passed, just as we had put the finishing touches to her special Octo party. But I'm content that she went as she would have wished. The party was to have been a rare gathering, in that her 3 children and 11 grandchildren, spread across the globe, were miraculously all going to be there. She was so looking forward to that. So I really was not surprised last night to find among her recants a document titled For the 11. It reads, "My adored grandchildren, I've given a bit of thought to what I wanted to say today to you, gorgeous lot, since plans for this Octo party were first mentioned. And I want each of you to absolutely know how thrilled and grateful I am that you have gone to such lengths and put so much of your lives on hold to be here celebrating with me today. So I hope you won't mind if I indulge in a few minutes of Octo privilege to share some convictions that have helped me enjoy such a richly blessed life. I share these life lessons in the hope that some may challenge or encourage you on your own paths. Be curious. This I learnt as a 10-year-old on the rocks at Malabar when my family had just moved from inland New South Wales to the city. The sea was my magic new world. At first I knew nothing of it, and certainly nothing of fishing, but was captivated by 2 old fishermen whom I shadowed endlessly, who answered my questions as they held their seaward gaze, as steady as their rods. And over months, indeed years, they shared their skills, their stories, and their catches with me. Seafood became my hobby, my obsession, and my mother encouraged my culinary experiments with the abundance the Pacific Ocean regularly offered up. I became a very good seafood cook. And all I desired as I neared the end of high school was to do this work professionally. To do that, I had to push boundaries and take risks. Because in 1961, it was unheard of for a young woman to gain an apprenticeship as a chef. But I walked the streets of Sydney, going from one classy restaurant to the next, with some of my seafood delicacies in my little chiller basket, and eventually, it paid dividends. Adèle Audreau, widow and proprietor of the famous Le Petit Grand Nuit, agreed to take me on. Hers was an act of faith, of great generosity, and of early feminist solidarity. Risks regularly littered the way ahead for us both, as together we pushed back against the prejudice and chauvinism of the high-end hospitality industry. What Adèle offered to me was my first experience of deep friendship with a person utterly unlike myself in age, background, style, and culture. Initially, she was my boss and mentor. But as years passed, we grew into mutual regard and support. It was she who taught me that true friendships are the greatest treasure. She nurtured me as a chef, but so much more. She introduced me to classical music, the rich culture of her homeland, and a wide body of intelligent, fascinating women. From all of these, I developed in confidence, espousing opinions of my own, travelling and exploring my own business opportunities. I did not meet your pa until I was in my 30s, and it was Adele who gave me away at our wedding. Your dear pa loved her almost as much as I did. For more than 2 decades, Adele and I held each other tight as friends and confidants. Then, most suddenly, she disappeared from my life. She didn't answer phone calls or knocks on her door. And finally, I discovered that she had flown back to Lyon. Neither I nor others close to her ever had direct contact with Adele again. But eventually, social media unravelled the mystery. She died in the house in which she had been born in Lyon, 15 months after her sudden departure from Sydney. I grieved, as did others. We were angry, bewildered, and sad, and we vented all those emotions until we learnt Adele had suffered from a rare terminal disease. Near her end, her birthplace called her home. In her leaving, she passed on to me a most powerful message. Cut other people some slack in your estimate of their behaviour. Look beyond your own wants and needs, preferences and expectations, and allow for possibilities beyond your imagining. This was a very difficult lesson. It bit deep. I only very gradually absorbed it. Nearly done, guys. At 80, I'm still learning. So, a final thought for all of us. You are only one part of the jigsaw, and the picture is as yet unfinished. Be patient. There is a wisdom, space, and amplitude beyond our narrow individual identities. All my love. God bless. With tears in my eyes, I have just attached this precious legacy to a group email addressed to Mum, my uncles, and my 11 cousins. The end.